That intro was short and sweet, getting us right into the action here on ESV Ohana. And down at the bottom left part of the map, we have our victorious Protoss player taking out IM.First last game on Entombed Valley. Can he make it 2 wins in a row? We're about to find out. It is StarTale.PartinG. And in the upper left, we have our teal Protoss player from the team Incredible Miracle, having a lot of success right now in GSL Code S, but will that translate to success in the team league right now? It is IM.Seed.
Okay. You know, I mean, he's a guy who's popped up a lot for Incredible Miracle in Team League as well. And I love how Team League has kind of become the farm system for a lot of teams as well. You know, I mean, they have their aces, they have their established stars, but it's always, you know, we're going to give this guy a chance here. We'll prepare him as a sniper. Then when he gets comfortable as a sniper, kind of under the lights, we'll turn him into a starter. When he's comfortable as a starter, then he kind of starts to shine in 1v1.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the greatest players in StarCraft 2 legitimately got their starts by having good Team League matches. You know, that's how people got to know him. Both Slayers MMA and MVP Dongregu got their starts in terms of popularity in the Team League. Other players like Squirtle comes to mind as a player that had some success in the Team League before he had success a lot in the individual league as well. Let's see, there's probably plenty of
Alicia,
others
who we saw yesterday. So. Yeah.
Alicia, I would say Lenok maybe to a certain extent, although I feel like Lenok maybe was a little bit more of a Code A star than a Team League star initially, but there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them out there. I mean, we could sit here all day and think about players that have done well in the GSTL in the past, and even players in foreign teams as well, like Vortex, for example, playing really, really well right now, showing us a ton of great games in Team League.
Yeah, all killing at one point and taking games from others, so he's looked very, very good. This is kind of cool, though, as we can see. SEED going for double gas before Cybernetic score. We've seen this so much lately, just keeping 2 on each gas. It has a variety of uses. It allows you to easily move into a lot of tech choices as you move along as well. It prevents your gas from being stolen. You can easily just slap in a couple more into the assimilators, as we see here. Go up to Stargate Tech very quickly. It certainly has a lot of utility, and I'm very excited to see this development. I think it's kind of the biggest development we've seen in PvP recently. We had the expansion phase that occurred not too long ago, and now we're seeing double gas and a lot more flexibility. And,
you know, I'm not surprised at all to see that from a player like SEED, too. I mean, he's a player that right from the beginning, when he was doing, like, Gateway, Immortal, Void Ray all-ins on Metropolis, was very, very meticulous about his builds. He's one of the cleanest Protoss players out there. That's one of the reasons why I really like watching him. You almost never see SEED really get sloppy in a game, and that translates to really crisp builds, very, very well executed timings, and that's, I think, what really makes him dangerous as an opponent in the GSL or any other league right now. So PartinG is going to definitely need to be on top of his game in every way, and it looks like it will be another Phoenix expand. So yeah, this build's just getting more and more popular in PvP these days.
Yeah, we said it just a second ago, but there it is. Drop, you know, you have the 2 assimilators up, and you'd be like, okay, 2 on each is okay if I want to do some sort of a robo expand, but I can drop 3 on each and move into a Stargate, and that's exactly what we've seen. So PartinG, though, did decide to go after a 1-gate expand, actually, last time on Entombed Valley. Lent itself to a very long game, but we'll see if PartinG is going to be as ridiculous this go around. No, he's just going to sit on 2 gates for now. Chronoboost out a lot of units and try and put on some pressure.
Yep, I missed when he put down his first gateway, but I mean, this what we did see originally as 4-gate turned into 3-gate pressure, and then that turned into 2-gate pressure. And so now we're seeing that from PartinG this game, and he's going to try to do some damage very early on. There's already a sentry out for SEED. So, misplaces a force field a little bit there.
He needs to get the Zealot back, though, to get the Stalker through, and unfortunately he does not do so. The Zealots could still run up, but they're not. They're just taking a little bit of damage there, and unfortunately a little bit of miscontrol out of PartinG, and he's going to lose a couple of units because of it.
That was actually a perfect force field that time, because he did trap the Stalker. And look at that. Just like that, the aggression for PartinG just absolutely shut down. He's going to need to go home and defend that expansion.
And he is indeed expanding, but he's not going to have a ton of units available, and very soon SEED is going to have a couple more Phoenixes. Look at that, 35-second build time. Chrono boosted out. It happens in like 28 seconds, I think
they build about as fast as workers, basically.
Yeah, it's 28 seconds or something along those lines. It's unbelievable how quickly they pop out.
Yeah, definitely. And SEED already sending out a couple of those Phoenixes. Nice scout there by PartinG, and he should have a pretty good idea of what's going on here.
Yep.
And Blink already on the way for PartinG, too. He did go for that Twilight Council as well, which I think is a great decision.
And certainly still playing a little bit from behind, but it depends on if SEED wants to expand or not. He himself is putting up a robotics facility now just still off of one base. So this is kind of the same thing that we saw out of his teammate before, but will he be able to pull it off?
Yep, few less Phoenixes this time than first had brought out. But it still is effective. It's still, with this number of Phoenixes, it's better, for scouting really than anything. You can, of course, pick up a couple sentries here and there, a couple probes more likely here and there and do damage to those. But overall, these are kind of just more scouts than anything. And another part of it, too, is to try to get your opponent to overreact a little bit to it. Now, Parting was already planning on going Blink as well, so it's not like Parting is going, oh my gosh, I need tons of Stalkers and Blink, because he's going to go for lots of Phoenixes. He's not going crazy with anything like that, just continuing his normal build, and it should give him the benefits of both being safe against this type of thing, but also giving him the ability to be a little bit aggressive later on once he does have more Blink Stalkers.
Oh, and Blink is finished. One of these Phoenixes could go down. Oh, wow. One hit point and makes it out of there.
Yep. Pretty close one there for Parting. Now, of course, SEED knows that there's Blink, but that's okay. He wasn't planning on making a lot more Phoenixes anyway. I think we're going to see a robotics facility, or robotics bay rather, go down pretty soon from this guy after his second base finishes.
And looks like that's going to finish here in about 20 seconds. Now, of course, Parting has been able to largely catch up in supply even after taking those really early losses, because he hasn't taken many worker losses at all. Yeah, just one probe has gone down this entire game. So
not bad.
Despite the fact that his initial attack was really well handled by SEED, SEED hasn't been able to capitalize, expanding pretty late, and plenty of defenses in place for Parting.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the idea with pressure behind it. You just kind of test your opponent's defenses out, and if you can get in there and do damage, great. If not, you're usually trading a pretty equivalent number of units for theirs, so it all comes out to be a bit of a wash. Now, SEED is slightly behind in pros, but not really enough to make a difference in the game. And right now, we're just kind of waiting on the tech to see what each player chooses. SEED getting a Robo, actually, right now. A second Robo, in fact.
Yes, he is.
Oh,
so maybe just mass Immortal production.
Could be.
We're going to see, and even some Warp Prism play maybe later on, too.
Yeah, I suppose that is possible. It's something that we don't see very often here. SEED does certainly love his Immortals, that's for sure. He's always enjoyed making those.
And Parting is indeed going after the robotics bay right away. Yeah. So he's going to be able to start Colossus production here pretty soon. Supplies are 71 to 73 at the moment. And oh, I'm sorry, there was a blink out there, and one of the Phoenixes did go down.
Okay, so robotics bay going down now for SEED. So getting a second Robo first, and I wonder how he's going to kind of balance that. He's just going to probably sit on money right now and save up so we can start double Colossus production immediately here. He does have a good amount of ground forces already made, so if he does make pretty much just only Colossi from this point out, he could kind of jump ahead of Parting in that regard, but it's a little bit different. You normally don't see the second Robo quite so fast.
Certainly no cheap PvPs today, though, I have to say, as this one is starting to stretch out quite a bit as well. And since both these guys are still in the stage where they're putting down their infrastructure, investing in upgrades, you're not going to see an attack here for another couple of minutes. That being said, we do have a Forge coming out for SEED. I believe one finished up for Parting a while ago. Yeah, he does have +1 on the way.
I don't know about this from SEED, actually. I mean, you can't really go for enough gateway units and 2 Colossi and upgrades on just 2 bases. I feel like he may be playing a little bit too expensive here. I haven't, obviously done it myself in the past, and he is affording that for the first time, but, will he be able to consistently get upgrades and double pump Colossi and to make the amount of gateway units he needs to sort of stay alive? He's going to be relying a lot on these Colossi this time, so Parting, if he does scout this with his Phoenixes, is going to have to try to take advantage of that. Or actually, Parting doesn't have Phoenixes, never mind. So he's going to have a hard time scouting it, I guess.
Yes, he is.
There you go, yeah.
Well, double Colossi are coming out, as we mentioned. Parting does clean up the destructible rocks, heading over to his third, so he can put down another Nexus here in just a bit. And then we'll need to defend that here. But as we can see, he does have a very powerful frontline engagement force. 4 Immortals to none, even amounts of Colossi, but the Gateway backbone not really there.
Yep, not so much. Again, like I mentioned, just really needing to rely a lot on those Colossi, getting 2 more gates right now. So basically, I think what we're going to see is going to go with 4 Colossi and +1, and then just make gateway units after that. It's just going to be basically a big, powerful 2-base all-in, just rushing to 4 Colossi really fast. If that's what he's planning, I think that's great. I really like it. But now he's getting Thermal Lance, so maybe not planning on attacking quite so fast.
Very nice job, just delaying that Nexus for quite a while here. So I really like that. I think that's a really cool move, and it's certainly something that PartinG is going to have to deal with. And we'll see if SEED decides to expand on his own or just continue to push out forces. He's really been supply blocking himself quite a bit, though. I mean, SEED was supply blocked at 100 over 100, had to put down 3 pylons at the same time, was just supply blocked there again at 124. So going in cycles here, and it looks like he is, while he's supply blocked, maybe going to put down a Nexus.
It's going to be. No. It's kind of a weird build from SEED right now, and although he does kind of like make a name for himself with his different builds, it's definitely a situation where you may not be, as experienced with this sort of thing, and that is a situation where you get supply blocked in a little bit more often, even at the pro level. And yeah, he's just going with 4 Colossi, and it looks like this does time out with Thermal Lance a little bit better than I thought it originally would. He's got a 5th Colossus on the way now, and he's going to focus on mostly gateway units. So what's the Colossus count overall right now between these two players? It's 6 to 6. It's actually even right now. SEED will have +1, and he will have Thermal Lance, but will that be enough? Does PartinG have Thermal Lance?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, he does. All right, well, here we go.
Okay, well, the Phoenix is doing a little bit of additional damage to the Colossi there, but SEED got a little bit too far forward and did take some damage onto his sentries, one of those actually almost disappearing in a puff right away. Units being warped in at the front. Looks like it's going to be Stalkers actually complementing this army. Third base is coming up for PartinG, and he hasn't been able to take advantage of it quite yet, so this is a good time for SEED to attack, but will he get the positioning he needs in order to make this work?
Oh, I don't think he did there. PartinG's positioning actually seems to be a little bit better, slightly better concave with his units blinking in with those Stalkers right now, taking a ton of damage from the Colossi, though.
Yeah, really had to watch out for that, actually. His Stalkers kind of blinked in a little bit ill-advised, I think. They got torn up by the 4 Immortals that were sitting there. Yes, the Immortal count may have been reduced, but the Immortals certainly did their job in protecting the Colossi.
Oh, man, SEED taking a lot of fire on those Colossi. It just seems like both players very hesitant here to attack, and SEED moving into a position where he can do some damage to this 3rd base. Now, PartinG may just kind of let this go. Yeah, and he does.
SEED has been doing nothing but producing Stalkers, finally starting another Colossus there, but it's been a while. PartinG has been rebuilding his Colossus count the entire time, so we'll see if that comes into play for either of these guys quite yet. It looks like SEED isn't quite done yet, warping in more units and pushing through the front once again.
Yeah, he's also making 2 Immortals at once, and those are pretty durable against Colossi, and he's also going to be using them to do extra damage to Colossi, too, because of their strong attack versus armored units. And continuing to kind of pressure from the low ground. Colossi, of course, tall enough that they can see up those cliffs.
And pylons going down, but thankfully PartinG had enough left over that this isn't going to, supply block him right away. He'll need to throw down some more in a second, but it's still not the biggest deal in the world. Oh, a few Zealots tried to swing in, but immediately repelled by the Warpins of SEED.
Yep, that's right. We've even got some Archons being added on right now for PartinG, too. So SEED, killing off that 3rd base, but not taking one himself yet as well. I'll have to see if he decides to do that, actually going for the Twilight Council right now.
He is very nearly mined out, too. So didn't really gain any advantage as much from that attack because he took out his opponent's 3rd. Where are you going? He took out his opponent's 3rd, but wasn't able to expand behind it.
All right, well, PartinG not in a bad spot at all, taking his 3rd base as well. I mean, it really seems like SEED's build was tailored to win on 2 bases. It didn't do that, so now he's kind of scrambling a little bit. Now he's kind of like, all right, what do I do now? My main base is almost mined out. I did kill my opponent's 3rd, so I'm not in like that bad of a position, but PartinG seems to want to expand again, so we'll have to see how SEED responds to this. I feel like he's kind of hesitant right now. I think he's used to winning this type of game already with this build. Now that he hasn't, he's not quite sure exactly what to do, it seems like.
Well, he's got to think of something very quickly here. PartinG is making his way out to the right with 9 Colossi. That is quite a bit of firepower there. Archons up at the front are going to be very nice to kind of charge and brute force their way into the units on the ground that will be able to dispatch of Zealots pretty quickly as well. So we'll see if PartinG is going to start getting aggressive here. He is pushing his opponent back. I think he just wants to kind of trap and then go after a 3rd, which is still just not there.
Yep, supply is still fairly even for both players. Both players adding on Archons and more Templar. Zealot Charge is about to finish for IM.Seed. So upgrade-wise, they're about the same, I believe, as well. The big difference right now is that PartinG has that 3rd base and SEED doesn't. So if SEED can't punish this 3rd base and this 1 Zealot, 2 Zealots rather, are not going to be enough to do it, PartinG may be in a prime position to just kind of slowly push ahead and eventually win this game.
And that Zealot, unfortunately, not going to be able to get anything done. SEED going to try and break his way out over the right-hand side. God, Colossi kill things so quickly.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit silly, I have to say. But, you know, PartinG is now comfortably sitting on 3 bases. He's still up by 10 workers. Even though he's mined out of his main, he's got plenty of mining left over on both the available bases. SEED trying to make his way out, but he can't go through this little choke point.
Yeah, that would be a bad idea. PartinG would be able to swing around and get a great concave, and that's exactly what he's trying to do. Trying to catch SEED when he comes through those narrower areas on the map. SEED, though, moving around to the outside. If he keeps walking, this could be a good angle. Here we go. A lot of Zealots taking fire before the Colossi really get to do their thing as well. SEED dropping in supply very rapidly.
Yeah, PartinG had a better angle on that attack, and he has the better economy to back this up afterwards as well. So SEED with a couple extra Archons there, but finally it's down to just nothing but Colossi versus Colossi, and PartinG is going to be able to reinforce at a better clip, as we can see.
And they both ended exactly 104 supply at the end. It looks like PartinG's army is slightly smaller because of the probe count, but crazy game right now. Man, 2 PvPs like this in a row. I said at the start of the game, I mean, Ohana has a lot of similarities in terms of the bases as Entombed Valley goes as far as like what strats you can go for in PvP, but I did not expect it to get to this point 2 games in a row. I
know. We've had 2 PvPs, and we've gone combined 50 minutes for them, so it's been pretty long, but certainly more fun to watch than your average 4-gate let's see who wins.
Oh, yeah, of course. Well, thankfully, we don't have to watch very many of those anymore.
That's absolutely right. But now,
right.
I mean, SEED is kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. He's got almost no minerals left inside of his natural, none left inside of his main. He doesn't have enough to expand right now and absolutely needs to do that because PartinG can just sit back, wait for another 30 supply or so, and he knows that his opponent just won't be able to match him.
Yep, PartinG's in prime position to take this game. Just needs to be a little bit more patient, get that gateway backbone built up again. Kind of testing the front, you can see with the Zealots, checking out his opponent's army size. And unfortunately for SEED, he's in a position where it's going to be very difficult to win. Trying to expand again, I mean, he has to try.
Yeah.
It's his best bet. I mean, he knows he can't just walk out there and win a fight right now. But it's going to be so hard, man. I mean, I think SEED's going to have to hope that PartinG makes a big mistake here.
And PartinG just spreading out his units, making sure nothing is going to be caught off guard. Starting to roll forward now. He's up by 40 supply overall. Only 10 of that is in workers at the moment. Does he want to try and push right now? It looks like he does. Zealot's coming out for both players at the moment. PartinG actually once again getting a better engagement with his Archons. He's dealt with most of the ground forces. He forces the cancel. He's up by 50 supply. And it looks like PartinG may be able to win his 2nd game in a row.
Yeah, all those Zealots survived and pushed him back. GG, that is it. And PartinG brings the score to 3-2. StarTale just 1 win away